Hey guys, Salty. We're going to do a thing. So many of you who have 24 Road Glides, Street Glides, or the 23.5 CVOs know you got that big old screen and a lot of computers. So we're going to try to do a software update. Roll it. Okay, this is terrifying. So a couple things in advance. In my hand, I hold a USB drive with a USB Type-C connector and a USB Type-A connector. What I've done in the background, spare you all the boring computer stuff, is I did it on a Windows PC. Actually, my son's computer that he used for school during COVID, because it won't work on a Mac and I have a Mac. So there's that. I downloaded, following the Harley directions, I downloaded and built this USB after checking my software. I am only required to do the second update because I bought the first update came out in like March of last year and I bought the bike in July, so it was up to date when I bought it. So another preparatory thing I did, I disconnected my little Maid Hawk. That's the pass-through connector for, USB tricking it to do Apple CarPlay. And I also did this. I borrowed this from my buddy. Right there, that is a 5 amp battery tender, and I'll tell you why. I have a 1 amp battery tender, and when I was doing the tuning for the stage 1 we did a couple weeks ago, 4 cycles of the battery of the ignition switch, and it didn't have enough voltage to complete because I had a little hard time connecting the dongle. When I checked the software yesterday before I borrowed this, just turning on the accessory mode and running it up for a couple of minutes cost me the battery down for a while before it was charged up. So that's a 5 amp charger, so I think we'll be good. Oh dear God, wish me luck. All right, so here we go. Step 1, activate accessory mode. So on your trip switch there, press and hold for 3 seconds, the screen should come on. I'm also going to open the drawer where the dongle is connected. Okay, the instructions say wait until it boots up. So boot up is the Harley symbol going away and the main menu being available. I was in sport mode because I wanted to see what the temperatures were on the bike. Quick question for y'all. Do you guys run around in that gauge cluster or different gauge clusters? I don't know. So main menu is up. Here we go. We're gonna extend the USB-C dongle. No, I don't want to do CarPlay. So we're gonna connect it and see what happens. All right, it's connected and it's reading. At least the light's flashing. The light's flashing, so it's reading it. New software available, update. All right. Now it says don't do anything. It's going to shut itself off and turn itself back on and not to touch anything. So I'll get back to you when we get to the first update. So the first one completed at about 6.5 minutes, and now it rebooted. And okay. And now the thumb drive is loading again. It also popped a mode control warning, which the documentation said was normal. So now I'm waiting for the next part of the thing. Yep, there's another one that says update. So we're gonna do that now. Press update. Let that run, and we'll see what happens. Oh, it's doing different this time. Now it's giving you the speedometer, but also a thing saying it's about to restart. So more in a minute. So we're still going. I think this is the 3rd time I clicked yes, and progress bar is there. Excuse me. Of note, kind of interesting, is the fact that I'm looking at the trickle charger, and it definitely has gone down as low as 1 notch on the 5 amp one. It shows you like bars proceeding, not just color code, and it would get down as far as like the lowest charge level, and now it's back up about halfway, and then at some point it got up to green, which would mean fully charged. So it's obviously this supercomputer takes some juice to run. So I'm very glad. I would not recommend doing this without a 5 amp charger, and it appears to be charging, so I guess that is true. I couldn't get a clean answer about whether or not the dongle works. I know on the CVOs it doesn't. You have to connect it to the starter and ground with alligator clips, but apparently it does do the thing here. So still progressing. This is what it did on the first charge, which was it got about 1/3 of the way done on the progress bar, and then it just hung for like a few minutes, and then it just said, oh, I'm done now. So I think there's 3 or 4 updates and then the amplifier update, and we're done. So we'll check back in a minute. Okay, so we're booting back up again. Still getting the menu. Quick question. I know when I bought the bike, the dealership told me not even to start the bike until the Harley logo went away and the thing was fully booted up. So I kind of follow that process. Although I'll admit I feel a little dumb at the gas station when I turn it back on and it's just sitting there for like 10 seconds while it boots up. Who knows? Maybe this will make it faster. All right, it's doing a thing still. The light's flashing on the thumb drive. So it's obviously getting information. Yes, I know. Keeps asking me to connect a headset. I should probably turn the Bluetooth off on my phone, but I didn't. So I think this might be the fourth one. I think there's 4 plus the amp update. I think. There's 5 things in the folder for this stick drive when I built it. Yep, one more. So we're going to do that now. So we're going to hit update. Let that do its thing, and then we'll be back in a tick. All right, so last thing. If you look, it said amplifier update. Sorry, I just did it. So it's now updating that. So I think all the rest of the software is done minus the amplifier check. So I think we're around the home stretch. I'm really pleased with this 5 amp battery tender. I think that was absolutely the right call. I think this would have been a disaster because I came very close to losing it when I was tuning the bike because it would say the voltage was too low. So here's hoping we'll get this last little piece in there and then we'll be done with this. And I'll have done a computer, which I'm pretty impressed with myself because I'm not the computer guy. So back in a minute. All right, so the last thing is done and it's booting back up again. So I think if I saw the instructions correctly, I think that's it. I think the amp is the last one. So once it's done booting up, I should see a screen here that says that I'm done. We'll see the thumb drive is flashing. And it's connecting. It's gonna yell at me about headset for Apple CarPlay, I would imagine. Yeah, got it. It's reading the thumb drive again. Now, theoretically, it should say, hey, I'm good. My software matches, and I'm good. And you'll note the little mode warning thing there's still there. It says, once I power cycle the bike, shut it off for 60 seconds, and then turn the key on, it should be good. Updates completed. Software is equal to or newer than USB. Bitchin'. So I think it says it will stay up there for 10 seconds and go away. So I believe all I gotta do now is disconnect the USB and we're done. All right, boys and girls, we're done. I did a thing. I made a computer, or I updated a computer. I know for all the Gen Zers out there, if there's any of them that ride Harleys, they're literally laughing in my old face saying, oh, you updated a computer, boomer. I'm Gen X, I'll have you know. So I did. So quick things. Have time. This one took about 32 minutes. If you're doing the full shooting match, I could see it taking 45 minutes. Be patient. The bars don't necessarily progress linearly. They'll just go a little bit and then say they're done. Have a tender, and I would recommend having that 5 amp tender. I really do, because this thing got perilously low a couple times and then would juice back up, and I just don't think it had the juice to hang on to it. So I will come back with a full review later on and tell you if the software update did anything or anything else, but you know, I got stuff to do. So until I see you next time, guys, keep the shiny side up. Salty. Peace.